And thank you, SB. And first of all, thank you, Renee Satterwhite, for the invitation. As SB mentioned, my name is Shelley Mitchell, and I will be your moderator today. Welcome to AACUC's Commitment to Change, Women Who Advocate for Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. In this panel of presenter and speakers, we are all women of color from various ethnicities, demographics, and two distinct generations. To begin, I'd like to introduce you to our panelists. Melisande Corlett, please introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Melisande Corlett. I am currently in communications at Chartway Credit Union, headquartered in the beautiful state of Virginia. I have been in the credit union industry going on 3 years now. I have learned a lot and I'm still learning, and I am so excited to be here with all of you. It is such a pleasure. So I hope your ears are open because we are going to take you on a journey.
Thank you, Melisande. Sheila Montgomery.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Sheila Montgomery, the co-founder of AACUC, and I want to thank Renee and all of the staff for preparing such a wonderful forum as this today. I'm really thrilled. I am now the CEO of Florida A&M University Federal Credit Union, the land of the Rattlers. And I'm just so excited to be on this panel with so many distinguished panelists. Thank you so much. And as she said, enjoy the ride.
Thank you, Sheila. Nina.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Nina De Los Santos, Senior Admin here at Greylock Federal Credit Union in the Berkshires. Also a credit union financial coach. Love that. It's wonderful to meet all of you. I'm lucky to be here. Elated to be amongst credit union greatness. Enjoy.
Thank you. And last but certainly not least, maybe no introduction needed, Renee Satterwhite.
Hello, everyone. I'm Renee Satterwhite, and I am the possibility of people serving other people passionately, and that's what we do at AACUC, as I'm the president and CEO of this organization. Right back to you, Shelley.
Wow. Thank you, ladies. You all make me smile. I'm excited to be here. Let's begin. I'll start with reading an insert from a quote from the mission and purpose statement at the National Women's History Alliance. In an insert of the mission statement, it reads, multicultural American women, especially, are overlooked in most mainstream approaches to U.S. history. Our history helps us learn who we are. Without it, our power and dreams are diminished. Women must not be denied their own history. I lead into a question. This is open to either of the panelists. Please jump in. What would you add to give more life to the modest narrative of multicultural women in history?
I'll be happy to
start. Oh,
see, we're all going to start talking.
always.
But I'll start off. Again, I'm Sheila Montgomery, and we've all heard about multiple streams of income. Well, I believe multicultural women in history describe to multiple streams of influence. That influence includes writing articles, doing presentations, being a mentor or a mentee, finding philanthropic ways to give back to communities, being bold and creative. So I would say finding the niche, be the expert, because being a woman, especially now, takes perseverance and deliberate actions. We got to stick together as multicultural women. The torch is passed. Our goal is to take it and run the last leg or the next leg of the race. Now, I'll conclude with this. History is defined as events in the past. Multicultural women in this day and age have the opportunity to create new histories for the next generation and the next generation and beyond.
I see why you're a forerunner, Ms. Montgomery. Thank you. Melisande, please.
That was so good, Sheila. And just to add to that, it's true. We are all history and evolution. So on the topic of history, I guess I would add more education We know a lot about multicultural women in history, but we don't know enough. We need to share the story as it evolves. Women are unique species. We're mothers, sisters, aunts, wives, cousins, friends, you name it. And we work and take care of other human beings as well. Multitasking is a lifestyle because we do it constantly every minute of every day between homework, kids, teachers, laundry, cooking, cleaning. There is very little room for us to take care of ourselves because we're constantly serving other people. And at the same time, we're often met with the perception that we're overly emotional, which is not true. The perception is we're all human and all humans have emotions, both men and women. However, the perception that women are emotional sometimes limits our opportunities. So what I would love to add to the modest narrative is that vulnerability is a strength. Emotions are healthy. Tears do not signify weakness, and empathy is a superpower. I said what I said.
Amen.
Oh, Melisande. I love it. I could not agree with that more. Ladies, if I had to add anything, which you've all covered a majority of it, let's just add a sense of belonging here. Let's add a sense that we all belong here. A hyper focus on that. You know, our generation's been silenced. Previous generations have been segregated, forced to believe that we aren't good enough. You know, we're sadly undervalued. Women have absorbed that notion that we're less than, having to prove time and time again we belong here amongst everyone else that may not look like us. So imagine moving into a rural town, maybe age 10, fifth grade, a little brown girl, little mixture of Asian in there, whose demographics in that town lacked diversity. And when I say lacked diversity, I mean lacked diversity. And all that little girl was trying to do was blend in, right? Blend in, stay under the radar, out of potentially harm's way, right? That little Asian girl and brown girl, she's me. And now I'm at a place where I am celebrated. We're all celebrated. We're excited to be here. Let's change this narrative amongst ourselves. And once we do that amongst ourselves, we can share it with everyone else. You know, like shine a light on every woman here, every little girl, so they understand that your voice is important. It's your God-given voice. Use it. You are enough. You are diverse and you're built perfectly in God's creation, right? Urge them to use their voices, speak out and speak up. Advocate for yourself, but not only for yourself, for others that aren't in the room, that aren't with you at the time. Bring others up with you. Never, ever blend in. That's my motto. Never blend in. Make your presence felt. And I read one day, I believe it's a Forbes article. I once read, we're passionate about our industry, and with passion, everything is possible. Melisande, you hit it on the head. Emotions are not weakness. Emotions are passion. Men, women, all of us, we have passion for what we do. Thank you.
Okay, so do we stay there or do we keep going? Well, thank you. Thank you, ladies. That was beautiful and very well stated. And I agree that when you shine your light, you illuminate on other people, you help other people shine. So I'll lead into another question. What woman and her unique character would you acknowledge, and why are her traits essential? What has she contributed to your being?
I'll take that one first. I like to stay in the present. So everyone knows I always talk about my mother and Grace and a shining examples of women who have endured stuff and perseverance. But I'd like to shed some light on my relationship with Sheila Montgomery,
Mhm.
and who has been a mentor, a teacher, um, a somebody who will chastise me and correct me, but it is in that spirit that she taught me about collaboration with women. She taught me a way to be with women, and she taught me that you never talk about your sister in front of other people. She taught me that. And so understanding some of those rules, and she taught me the meaning of team, because when she met me, I was all about I. And she broke me out of that, and because of what she did for me and making sure I was at the table, making sure that I paid that $500 to be part of something that was going to be something forever. Having that wisdom when I talk to you guys when I talk with you guys and I'm pushing you guys, it's because Sheila and others of ACC pushed me. And so that is a woman who she doesn't take any wooden nickels. She gives it to you straight. But the most important thing I learned from Sheila was that when her staff didn't do something correctly, she never blamed the staff. She always said, it's I haven't done something correctly that they're not giving me what I want. And she would look at herself first and take responsibility first. And she would never throw her people under the bus. And I like to say I learned that and I own that, Sheila, and it is no longer I, it is we.
Come on, thank you. Let me give a clap. Melisande.
Of course. So you might think I'm a suck up because she is on the call right now, but I'm really not, I promise you. I would have to say Renee Sadie White. So we passing the torch. I'm going to just shine the light on you right now because of your authenticity. I've often showed up in many spaces as my authentic self and other spaces as a version of myself. But after meeting you, I learned that you can show up as your authentic self at any time, in any place. It's so important to have healthy examples in shared spaces outside of your friends and family who embody authenticity and encourage you to operate at full capacity. On the path to leadership in any capacity, it's important not to lose sight of who you are. I've seen so many women transform into diluted versions of themselves that by the time they get to where they want to be, they don't even like the person they've become. It's so important to remember who you are and remain true to yourself. I am uniquely me. You are uniquely you. But every now and then, we all need gentle reminders that because we are unique, we should strive to be authentic every day, all day. And Renee is that reminder for me. Many women have helped me along my journey, but where I am in life right now, Renee is an example to me. And I told her that when she was here last month, that I'm watching her. I told her I'm watching her because people don't share that. They chill and they watch from afar, but I needed to let her know that I'm inspired by her life and her journey. I appreciate you, Renee, and I'm encouraged by you. So you're it for me.
Thank you. That is very well spoken. I won't take up time adding on to how I feel about Renee because this is me moderating and not me speaking. Nina, would you like to share?
Absolutely. I think we all share your sentiments, Melisande, so absolutely. Renee, sister queen. But I unfortunately, Shelley, I know you asked for a woman, a unique character. I can't give it to you. I promise I tried, and all I come up with was my my version of a unique woman, and she's 5 women wrapped into one. She's if you will, accept my analogy, this is my playbook, this is my team, my core starting 5. Okay. You know, from a young girl growing up, you don't really have an inspiration other than people that are in your life, your constants, people you see, people that are praying for you, people that are motivating you and molding your existence, right? I mean, I love the Michelle Obamas. I love all of that, but I love my great grandma, Virgiline, who was a house slave only to 2nd grade and self-taught herself, you know, to read and write, could bake a recipe without a recipe. You know, self-taught is showing us that anything is possible. So with that, I say her daughter, my grandmother, Savannah State graduate, go Tigers, a 1st-generation college grad. Okay. Dedication, right? My eldest cousin, she inspires me more than she'd ever know, right? She's a doctor. She's a daughter of a civil rights movement leader. Okay. Dr. Reverend Hosea Williams. It's greatness that I'm amongst, so they inspire me. So I can't give you just one, Shelley. I'm trying. My mother, the real MVP, sacrificed everything to give me what I needed in life, right? Bring your daughter to work day, showed dedication and showed me what work ethic really is from a young age, right next door at KB Toys here in the Berkshires where I'm working now. And my best friend, I have to give it to her. She gave me life within life in her 30 short years here on this planet. You live life to your fullest every day. So look up to your unique characters, whether it's a one person that you never met or whether it's 5 people that you know that are close to you in your heart. Breathing life into you. Without them and without their special essential traits of dedication and kindness, we have no compass to follow.
Thank you, ladies. There's so much to take away from that. And what I will address, what I heard is authenticity, most importantly, do not assimilate. Collaboration, to link as a chain, to give of sacrifice. Know your work ethic and kindness. So much of us, and so often we forget the value of simply being kind and kind to one another and kind to other women, to link arms with them and help them and train them and inspire them. To know that emotion isn't just a feminine term or a feminine verb, that we all have emotions and it's okay. And I give you permission to cry and to tissue and to still stand strong because that's who we are and that's what we do. Thank you. This question is specifically, I'll lead to our younger generation, our new forerunners, our builders, those who are taking their steps up the ladder, coming behind Sheila and what Renee have already started. Nina and Melisande, from your years in the industry, whether they're new or long-term, what have you seen in the change in the credit union movement for women? What is your perception in the change of the credit union movement for women?
I'll lead us off, Melisande, the younger generation. Proud to be part of it. So I've been with the credit union movement. I'm still a baby here. It's my 5th year going on, and I'm very thankful to be here. I've seen in the past 5 years that I've been here an intentional increase in diversified hiring. Let me tell you that when I started here, my mentor was representing just like me, but there weren't very many of us. And now when you look around, there are, and I'm so proud. And I thank Greylock for that every day. I've observed an uptick in life and across the United States with CEO women of color and nationality, diverse CEOs. All we have to do is climb up the asset ladder and have bigger credit unions that we can run and mold and shape the way that we'd love to add sparkle to. I've seen a purposeful addition since I've been here and able to humbly attend and participate in with Shelley and her one-to-one woman mentoring program designed to elevate women of color. It's important to have these resources and tools at our hands to be able to use. We're empowering others. In the last 5 years that I've been here, we're being their people's voices and advocating for people when they're not in the room with us. We know our worth right now, and I'll tell you right now, we demand the respect. We realize that it's worth investing in us, and I'm so thankful for that.
Thank you, Nina. Melisande.
What have I seen? We have a lot of women in the credit union industry, but there are not a lot of women in C-level positions. When we look at the VP level, we see a healthy balance there, and that's great, but there is still a lot of room for growth and elevation. I remember when Ndaba Mandela, the grandson of Nelson Mandela, was in Virginia on January 31st to address the audience at Norfolk State University. One of the profound things he shared was that Black women should be in more positions of leadership, period. Our ability to nurture, coach, mediate, delegate, empathize, and everything in between is an innate instinct that would transfer and blend well in leadership positions. And I agree with him 1000%. We wear so many different hats and wear so many things to so many people, and we often put the needs of others above the needs of our own, which is highly essential in leadership. Leadership, service, and submission are synonymous. Therefore, the potential to lead a nation into a bright future is there. That's why it's imperative to advocate for each other, send the elevator down, hold the door open, and lift as you climb.
Very well stated. And often African-American women offer more ingenuity and more innovation. That's why there are so many African-American women now who lean out and start their own businesses when those skills can be given to the corporate arena. We're not asking to take the table. We're just asking you to scooch over a little bit so that we can pull up a seat. I mean, it's not intended to displace anyone. But please use our skills, use our talents, hear our voice. Thank you. And with that, I believe that that's much more of a valuable conversation, that it should not be left to Melisande and Nina. Sheila, would you be able to contribute to that question? Please unmute yourself. You're speaking so well.
There we go. Women possess amazing skills. We are phenomenal strategic thinkers, and we demonstrate a mastery for getting things done. In other words, we have a multitasking gene that will not turn off.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, we can show this credit union industry things that they've never thought of. And I would ask women, and I think it was said earlier, that as you climb that corporate ladder, don't look who's behind you. Find the person to be there with you so that you can carry on what we know, the talents that we possess. We are our best advocates, ensuring that other women are heard, seen, and most importantly, be the leaders they are destined to be. Maya Angelou wrote, "If you're trying to be normal, you will never know how great you are." Let's demand that the credit union movement recognize our greatness and know that either they can invite us to be at the table, or we will get our own table and they will wait for the invitation.
Come on. I saw you light up every day and snap. You want to bring something to that?
No, that was genius. All the panelists were genius. I have nothing to add, but
Thank you. Well, we will come over to you now, Renee. We've made advancements. We certainly have, and we've linked arms, and we're learning to show up as our genuine selves with a true heart in the genius and the rhythm and the beauty that is woman. But with all of that, what more would you like to see in the credit union movement for women?
for men to ask the question, if this woman were a man, would I treat her that way?
Wow. Wow.
I often say, if I was a man, I wouldn't be treated that way. It's not even about being a white man. It's if I were a man, I wouldn't be treated that way. We've had to do women who are in leadership roles. If you are articulate with your request, that can come off as not a good term, but a different term that's not used well for women. I would say that the most important thing is for men to always think, if this were a man, would I treat him the same way? And so I think that's the most powerful thing that men in the industry can do for us, along with being the voice in the room, having positive things to say about women. What I love about ACC is that our men do support. So and when I say our men, I'm not talking about just Black men. I'm saying the men of ACUC support women. And I was humbled in 2022 when one of my newest board of directors pointed that out. She was sharing with her, Delana Hewling was sharing with one of her friends about that conference. And she talked about how wonderful it was that the men showed up for the women and supported them. And so again, I would say, and don't get me wrong, we all have issues, right? But I would say for the most part, at the African American Credit Union Coalition, we're pushing everybody to be as great as they can be.
I often tell people that the African American Credit Union Coalition is the most inclusive organization that I've seen in the credit union industry.
Lucy
And I
Eaton says the same thing, and I love it.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I would like to also pitch this question over to Melisande and Nina. What more would you like to see in the credit union movement for women?
go ahead. Oh, I would love to go. So for women, I just feel as though we should be able to be present for everything. And I mean work, but I also mean family. I also mean those sporting events that your child is playing in. I also mean having just time to be ourselves and represent our companies and our families the way that we think that we should. We all deserve to be here. I keep saying that it's just a tone that I'm feeling that we all deserve to be here. So let's make everyone feel that they do. Let's not make them feel like they don't belong. When you see someone walking by you in the hallway, say good morning. You know, you may not even know them, but good morning. They're not going to remember, maybe what your name is. They may not. And it's okay, because I don't remember all the names either. But they will remember how you smiled at them, how you made them feel. And that's the most important sentiment that I can take away from this. Everyone, just be genuine and be kind and be accepting and welcoming.
And Ms. Montgomery, Sheila, you are a forerunner. You built a legacy in credit unions. And I remember you shared a piece of your history yesterday where you were hired specifically. Given your history, specifically from your experience and what you'd like to see going forward, what more do you think the credit union could do? Or what would you like for women to do or people to do to advance women in this movement?
I have been in this wonderful profession for over 49 years. And I do say that with privileged inserted into that statement, because I know it takes perseverance, endurance, patience, and a willingness to learn your craft.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard work. And as you stated, I was hired in 1975 through the quota system. That's when affirmative action just started. And James Brown wrote a song called I'm Black and I'm Proud. Well, they got me at that time when I was Black and I was proud. So it was very easy for me to insert myself because they hired me because of my skin and because I could type really well. But they didn't know what they were getting. They were already getting a leader. They were already getting an innovator. They were already getting a multitasker. So once they found that out, then the career just took off, not only for where I worked, but for me specifically. I knew then this is the job that God had destined me to be doing. I asked God for two things. One, to please give me a job where I can help people. And two, give me a job where I can travel. I can tell you I've been all over the world and I'm still working 49 years later. So I say to anyone that the credit union industry is a wonderful place for women because it fits what we're made of. And as you're talking about advancing and doing the things that we all just inherently were born to do, the credit union profession needs us. And they need us to step up. They need us to step into those boardrooms and demand our space, not in a hostile manner, but in a confident that I know that I can contribute to whatever you give to me. So I'm proud. I feel very, very fortunate to have found my little niche. And everybody knows me. I love small credit unions. I never aspired to go any higher because I love small credit unions. I love talking to people. I love to transform lives. And this credit union gives me that opportunity. We talked about who was your influencer. My grandmother, who had an 8th grade education. She was the first Black woman to be a supervisor of a hospital. She was an Uber driver before there was Uber driver. So she was a creator. She was a thinker. She was a traveler. All of that is part of what I do in the credit union profession. Am I happy about what I do? No, I'm ecstatic about what I do. And I know this is something that all young women can really make a difference in people's lives, because that's what we do. That's what we're made of. We raise our children, we take care of our husbands, we are leading organizations. I'm just really, really thrilled that I can talk about it. This is why I love AACUC, because AACUC would not have allowed me to meet all of you. And it also allowed me to know that we're in good hands. I'm looking at these young ladies and I'm just grinning and smiling and just applauding. Thank you, AACUC, because this is really, as Lynette would say, phenomenal.
Yeah, just when you said AACUC, as a founder of AACUC, I'll be very I'll be very subtle the way I say this. I don't mean it to be to diminish, but I'm sure you had no idea. I'm not, and I'm apologetic. Maybe you did have an idea of the magnitude of what AACUC is today. And we can credit other people. We certainly give applause to Renee. But you all were the founders of this because you were not recognized in an industry. You were a small group of colored people who wanted to get together and know each other beyond the side nod, the nod across the room, if I remember from the presentation last year. Thank you for that, Renee. But and I'm going to come back to our other panelists, but you said a couple of things that I'd like to pull on you and Renee about for 2 nuggets of mentoring. You said they didn't know what they were getting when they hired you. So how do you let people know when when Melisande and Nina are in their respective credit unions, how do they let the credit unions know that, or their employer or their supervisor know, I've got more over here. There's more in here and to this. How did you present yourself to say, you got more than what is behind this typewriter? Share some of your gems, Sheila and Renee, to that.
Well, I'll finish up my little piece because it was very simple. You work hard and you volunteer. I worked in every department of that credit union, not because they asked, because I volunteered. My goal was to be very good. As I said, my grandmother believed that if you're going to work hard, but be good at what you do. And to be good at what I did in the credit union industry, I had to understand what it was all about. I had to really understand the operations. How can my influence, because I could talk to people, how could my influence make a difference for those people that's in the boardroom? And if I didn't understand that the board made these decisions on products and services, where to go in communities, then I would have not been able to be where I am today. So work hard, be inquisitive, volunteer, ask questions, and most importantly, give some advice. Just tell them about your world. I remember when I was real young, and I really was kind of bold because of James Brown. Just remember, James Brown said I was black and I'm proud. And I walked into the president's room, and I was very upset with her because she would not give me a supervisor position. I was in my late 20s. I had no business being a supervisor, but she said no. But you know what that did? It made me stronger. And years later, when I became a CEO, I called Betty up and apologized because I realized that all she did was make me be who I need to be by continuing to learn and listen and doing what I needed to do. So please know that it works. At least it worked for me.
Thank you. Renee, would you have anything to share? How do you let people know that there's more to what is currently in the job?
Everything that Sheila said, I echo. Volunteer, show up, be impeccable with your word, and try to be exceptional with your service. When you help other people reach their goals, you'll get yours. You'll end up. I can honestly say that I have been a servant to AACUC for years, and it is that service. It's like Sheila said, I've learned everything. I can do every position at AACUC. I can run a conference if I need to. All those things that I got to do, I volunteered to do. Write a conference execution guide. Sure, I can do that. Put together a oh, I can do that. All of the things that I've been able to do, the God-given talents that God has given to me, I've been able to make those things sharper because of ACC. But it's because I volunteered a lot and people gave me the opportunity to do more. And so one of the things I think that's very, very important is that you make sure that if you're going to do something, please do it well. Be dependable. That's another key ingredient to success, is being dependable. I try to keep my word as best as I can. It is becoming increasingly hard because there's so many people who want me to do stuff. But if I give you my word, I'm going to try to do as best I can to get something done. And so I think being impeccable with your word and being just, everybody knows how I'm about being exceptional. Everything has a certain place and the way it's supposed to be done. And if you continue to do that, your actions will speak louder for yourself. I want people to be able to say, yeah, I agree with that about her, instead of, that ain't true. And so be someone that people can count on.
Thank you. Melisande and Nina, we haven't heard from you in a while. And although we deferred to Sheila and Renee for these gems, would you have a response, or do you have anything that you'd like to share? Because you certainly are worthy for your positions and what you contribute to the organizations. What would you share in bringing someone up the ladder, in making yourself known and saying, hey, there's more to me than this?
I just hope that my work ethic and my job does speak for itself. I just hope that my personality, dedication to what I do, my loyalty to who I work for, I hope that shines through. I just would say, I'll add to what Renee said too, there's so many skills and so many tools in our boxes that we can use, and that, if you give us the opportunities to use them, we will show you that we can use them. But we can't show you if you don't let us.
Mhm.
And if you don't know something, say, you know what, I'm not keen on that right now, but let me get back to you. And, teach yourself, take it upon yourself, take the initiative, look it up, ask someone who may know, lean on people that you have around you, use your resources, utilize them well. I can't say it enough that when you're doing what you're doing, just do it like you would do it, like no one's looking. Or is that how you say it? Do the job as well as you can, even when no one's looking. There you have it. There you have it. I got it. I knew I had it in there. But I did see one thing, and I'll leave you all with this. And I can't take credit for this quote. It was on an Instagram earlier, so I'll give it to the Instagram. I just wish, and I also share the sentiment, that more women realized that helping another woman win and cheering them on and praying for her or sharing a resource with her does not take away from your blessings coming your way. In fact, what these ladies on this panel said this morning and this afternoon, the more you give, Renee, the more you receive. Empowering women doesn't come from selfishness, but rather selflessness.
Okay, I had to catch my breath. Melisande.
I concur with what all these women shared on this call. In addition to your work ethic and being dependable, it's also important to be vocal, because a lot of times, we work in such a fast-paced industry that sometimes if you do not speak up and share, then sometimes you may feel overlooked. Closed mouths do not get fed. If there is something you're interested in doing, you have to speak up. You have to share that. You have to show that. That is very important. And if you have opportunities presented outside of your organization that can help you build skills, take that initiative. Sometimes not everyone that we come encounter with has the tools in their toolbox to help cultivate what's inside of us. But if you can find someone else that can help cultivate whatever's inside of you to bring that to the forefront so that you can get to where you need to go, do not hesitate. Your journey is imperative because there's someone else behind you that is coming. They need to see that you can do it and you cannot delay the process.
And that's part of being selfless, right? Just knowing that you're not working only for yourself, but someone else is coming behind you. People are watching you as well. And all that you do and the selflessness that you give and the loyalty, the volunteerism. So thank you in being impeccable in your work and sharing that with our listeners.
Shelley, let me add to that real
Yes.
quickly. It's important to be coachable.
Mhm.
It's very, very important to be coachable and not to see being coached as a criticism, but as something that's going to help you grow. Sheila has coached me, Lynette has coached me, John Bissell has coached me. I know it's about women, but John Bissell has coached me, my twin. There are people who will give you feedback, and understand that feedback, it's truly a gift. And if Sheila had never called me out about some of my stuff, if Lynette hadn't called me out about some of my stuff, if John hadn't called me out about some of my stuff, I would have made some huge mistakes. And I am grateful that they cared enough about me and my success to coach me. So don't think of people trying to help. And you don't have to listen to everybody. Please don't listen to everybody. Choose who you respect. There are some folks, let it go in one ear and out the other. Let it come all the way out. But those that you know are for you, then please listen to them and don't take it as criticism, but see it as an opportunity for you to be your best self.
Thank you, Renee. Moving on to, does anyone else have anything regarding this subject? Okay. Moving on. In regards to National History Month, again, from the website of National Women's History Alliance, we all have the power to influence in the direction of the world that we're headed in. This is an open question. What is your greatest accomplishment as a woman advocate? What is your greatest accomplishment as a person? What is your greatest accomplishment as a woman?
That is such a good question. For me personally, accolades do not define me. I choose to define my greatest accomplishments in life by the hearts that I reach and the lives that I impact as a result of the personal growth that I've experienced. So sharing my experiences and proactively supporting other women is a win for me. As Emma Hayes would say, if you were here last month for our CTC Friday conversation, she, instead of saying, send the elevator down, she said, holding the door open for other women who are waiting to get on the elevator. So what I just did is an example of supporting and advocating for other women, mentioning Emma Hayes, she's not in the room, but making sure that you mention other people's name in influential spaces when they're not present, because we're all leaders in some form or fashion, and official titles are simply an indicator to other people of how far along we are in our professional journey. So regardless of the title that's attached to your name, it's important to note that someone is always watching, just like Renee, Sheila, Nina, Shelley said, someone is always watching, and that alone, leading by example, can indirectly give someone the courage they need to pursue change they never thought possible. It's also important to share the knowledge and celebrate each other's accomplishments, like Nina also said previously, whenever you can. One thing I aim consistently to accomplish in life is for every woman that I meet to leave my presence feeling empowered and encouraged, because I am a well, and wells are designed for both withdrawals and deposits. So I make sure my well stays full, and I'm intentional with the deposits I make into other wells too.
Thank you, Melisande. Sheila, what accomplishments have you completed or as an advocate, woman or individual? Please unmute yourself.
That's a bad habit I have. You know, there's so many things that I'd like to sit here and list. But on this day, I really want to talk about being a co-founder for AACUC.
Mhm.
The reason I'd like to mention that is because I remember when going to GAC and people would ask me, well, why don't you just get people together? And how afraid I was that I didn't feel worthy to get other professionals together, because in my mind, I was at a little $8 million credit union. And I'm thinking, who would listen to me? And it took me a while. I remember calling Pete Creer saying, I can't do this. I just can't do it. And he said, no problem, I'll help you. Like, what? I still didn't want to do it. But that little spark pushed me to say, all right, let's do it. Let's get together. I'll tell people to come around. Let's go to the restaurant. Let's make this happen. And so to see where AACU is today,
Yeah.
how inclusive it is today, how diverse it is today. I think someone said this, if not on this meeting, but some other one, that we are a family. But we are a family that's empowering others. And so you can't get any better than that. You can't get any better than seeing the growth of people that you never thought you would know. And at this point in my age, and I'm proud to be old now because I'm still kicking, it's a pleasure to know that what all the struggle that we had getting this organization up and running, literally not having any money to do a flyer. Renee figured it out for us though. Not being able to put on conferences because it was like, where are we going to get, how are we going to get this done? Where is this going to happen? How are we going to make that happen? It was a struggle. What you see today is truly the blessings that came from all of those people here and those have gone. Renee, I have to mention Shirley Jenkins. She was our first matriarch, and Shirley was from New York, but she did not play. Her motto was excellence. And so to see where this organization has bloomed under Renee's direction, with the board of directors like John and Lynette and some of the others, it's just amazing to me. And I'm so happy that even though I had fear, doubt, someone gave me that spark to keep it, just go and do it, just do it. And I would say that to others, don't let your fear and your doubt hold you back, because there is somebody over there in your corner. You just have to ask for a little push. And when you do that, you could be like me, sitting here on a panel, just going, wow, because there's no other words but wow.
Thank you. Renee, please share with us your greatest accomplishment as a woman or as an individual.
Would you mind if Nina would go first?
No, I don't mind. And we're waiting for you, Nina.
Oh, well, I'm happy to. Renee, I'll talk all afternoon. As long as you guys have some time. You have time?
I'm going to mute you. Come on.
Do that, Shelley. No, but again, one accomplishment. How can I name one accomplishment, you guys? This is too hard. You're setting me up for failure here. Let's see. I have a list. No, completing be a financial coach here within my organization. This organization has felt like so fulfilling. I may not be able to coach 1 million people a year, but the ones that I am able to help, it's huge. You help someone figure out their credit, figure out how to get into their first home. That's a huge win. Completing the AACUC DEI Academy that you all offered us felt impossible before I signed up. When I signed, I'm like, 8 weeks, how many hours? Wait a minute. I don't know if I can do this, but being given that opportunity, participate in and complete and meet all you wonderful people, what a win, what an achievement. And this further opened my hunger and my need to do more. Joining NAACP after being here at Greylock is wonderful. My greatest accomplishment, besides sitting on this panel with all of you, is raising my son. He's not a woman, but let me tell you right now, he will be a wonderful, respectful, kind, loving, generous husband, son-in-law, dad. When people say you've got a wonderful son, let me tell you, it makes my heart so full. So greatest accomplishment ever. Give our children better lives than we could and that we ever had. He's not a woman, but he's ready. Believe that.
And we applaud our men too. This is not to shun men at all. We're just sharing our version of history and our portion in it. Men, we welcome you, we love you, we appreciate you. Thank you for participating and joining in this call. And Nina, I've heard you talk about your son, so I get it. I have two of my own.
Yes.
Nay, please share with us your greatest accomplishment, either as a woman or in the credit union.
I have highlights.
Okay.
And so there's some things that are dear to my heart. And one of the things that are dear to my heart are all of the women and men, but I can specifically talk about the women that have been elevated because of AACUC, have received new jobs. Opal Thomas-Shaveska was a project coordinator when I met her. She's now a director of multicultural business services at TrueStage. Danya Dorman was a VP. She's now Chief Member Experience Officer at AACUC. Latanya Allen, met her, she was manager of lending, and now she's a Chief Lending Officer. Tracy Jackson, she was an AVP, and now she's Chief Financial Officer. Emma Hayes, she was a Director of Learning and Development. She's a chief now. Delana Hewling, she's a president now. There's a list of people at that we have touched that just makes it just phenomenal for me. Another highlight, a career highlight for AACUC is being the recipient of the Anchor Award in 2022, which I consider to be the Nobel Peace Prize of the credit union industry. And that in itself was huge. And so personal achievement, being inducted in her story as the only African-American woman for the initial round to go in. And then how could I ever, my mom was like thrilled to be able to see me in Las Vegas up on a big screen with Todd Harper and Emmett Smith. Like, who gets to do that? And Pat Adams at Caesar's Palace when they gave me the Neoteric Changemaker Award and then named it after me, the Renee Sadie White Neoteric Changemaker Award. That is humbling. There's only two women, African-American women in the credit union industry that have awards named after them. One is Annie Vamper, that Inclusive does, and Sheila's a recent recipient of that. And this one here, that I'm still on a cloud, not believing it's me. It's like, and I don't have imposter syndrome, because if you know me personally, you know that I'm quite confident about my skills and abilities. So that's not it. It is just where God has placed me. I am in awe and so very grateful. So all the things that AACUC is able to do to lift people up. I love it when people say that we're the most inclusive organization in the system. They're right, we are. And it comes from love and respect and valuing ourselves and valuing our differences.
Thank you, Renee. We're coming to a close, and I thank you all again for staying with us and being tuned, and for your ears, for your kindness. And I'd like to close with this last question. And given our time, we need to keep it a little brief. But if you have a vision for women in the workforce, if you do, please share it with us. And what will you do to implement that vision? Melisande, I'm looking at you.
A vision for women in the workforce. Unity is powerful, and it's important to support and advocate for each other. Previously, I had mentioned holding the elevator door open, lifting as you climb. It's important to help cultivate each other, coach each other, help each other get to that next level. Without each other, just like Sheila said, we need each other. Without each other, how are we supposed to make an impact? So if there is an opportunity to be able to implement and make sure that unity is sustainable, I think it takes all of us. It's an idea. We all have this vision, but it takes all of us to lead the charge. We can't do it just one person alone. We need the men, just like Renee stated. It's very important to have our men also supporting and making sure that they're doing the legwork and they're lifting as they climb as well. Because women, specifically Black women, have so much to offer, not just for multitasking, like Sheila stated, but just our ability to lead from a position of empathy, to lead with our heart, lead with what we have. We have all this opportunity, these multifacets that we can change the industry together. It takes all of us. And so unity would be the priority in the vision.
Thank you, Melisande. Nina, if you have a vision for women in the workforce, what is it and how will you implement it?
I would implement, and I would just say this, and what Melisande said as well, listen, there's room for all of us. So let's not operate in a way that we're competing with anyone or trying to, sabotage anything. Let's be the people helping people. Let's love our neighbor. Let's be the golden rule, okay? Let's support and pour into each other. I would like to offer my support to anyone I can. I often do all the time. It's always, what can I do for anybody else before it's what can I do for myself? So I would implement more self-care, though I will say that, more solitude and more opportunities for some self-reflection. It's very important to give yourself the time that you deserve as well. And also rest. The word rest, I don't think that's really even a word. We really don't really do that too much. And I know that my manager, Darrell, and Jamie and John will tell you, Nina doesn't rest very much. She'll message you at 1 a.m. and, might be against the rules and policies here, but dedication. So just also know that you're enough. Ladies, you're worthy and you're unapologetically yourself.
Thank you.
Thank
I'd
you.
like to offer this question to Ms. Montgomery, Sheila Montgomery. And even though I'd like to know your vision, I'd like to pivot for a moment and ask you, for those women who don't feel worthy, they're looking at you, Renee, Melisande, and Nina on this panel, and they really want to aspire, what would you say to that young lady who may have a sense of, am I really worthy? Would you give us just a brief moment of that? We're coming to a close, but just give us a brief moment and then we can go back to Renee for her for her vision.
Being prepared and being present. You've done the work. Know that you have done all that you can do. And so trust your instincts, your work ethics, your experience. Be ready, because at the end of the day, you know the next steps. Implementing change has been a lifelong dream of mine, because I always believe that you don't stay where you are, always make a decision for the future. So by doing that, you've got to read a lot of publications, not just in your area, but in every facet of the credit union world. You will find a lot of things that you don't know, but you'll find a lot of things that you'll go, wow, I could have written that article. I could have implemented that program. So just stay prepared and be present and let people know that you are available. A lot of times, well, I would love to call this person, but I'm not sure. They have to know that you're available, because then you're fulfilling your vision. You're fulfilling your destiny. So that's what I would leave with young people and all of us as well. Until you die, you got to keep moving. So just be prepared and be present.
Thank you. And Renee, really quick, what is your vision for the workforce, for women in the workforce? And I know you do so much, but just give us a snippet.
That we are unreasonably kind to one another. Mm-hmm. So that's I couldn't do the 28 days of no negative thoughts or talk. And so I created something different. You know how I am. I create something, you know what, this is what I can do. I may not be able to not talk negatively all the time, but I can always be unreasonable with my kindness. I would love to see us all being unreasonable with our kindness. And very quickly, someone poured water on me at a restaurant, cold water, and I didn't get angry. I got up and said, I'll be back. And I went and changed my clothes and I came back. You don't want to be a spectacle. Be the leader. Show grace. That's my vision.
Mhm.
Thank you. I believe we are coming to a close. It's 2:00. SB will come on and say the recording is over and AACUC begins on time and ends on time. Don't know where she is, but I thank her for this opportunity. There you are.
Thank you so much. Thank you to our panelists. And yes, we start on time and end on time. So with that, don't forget to check out our website for our next CTC conversations. We have 2 coming up in April, and our YouTube channel. Check it out. We have uploaded a lot of our CTC conversations. This one will be uploaded there as soon as that is ready to be shared. And thank you all so much. So many amazing nuggets of information, so many great pieces that you shared with us. It made me emotional. I'm sure it made some of our other members on this call emotional as well. So thank you, thank you. For the rest of you, have a wonderful Friday. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll hopefully see you in our next CTC conversation.